Well, this was the year that some civil liberty advocates had hoped would bring an end to policing for profit in Tennessee.
But with lawmakers heading for adjournment, most of those reform measures have once again gone down in defeat. Those practices were first exposed by News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams. What happened, Phil?
Well, bottom line, the law enforcement lobby proved to be too strong, with police dismissing concerns about the innocent victims, telling lawmakers that the proposed reforms were a solution to a problem that's now been fixed.
Can I search your truck and trailer?
Our investigation first revealed how some Tennessee police had targeted out-of-state drivers, often people of color, looking for cash that they could seize based on the suspicion that it might be drug money that the agencies could then use to fund their operations.
In fact, it goes as far as to remove the practice of asset forfeiture.
One bill patterned after a law passed in New Mexico would have said police could seize cash and other property only after the person was convicted of a crime.
Bill fails.
That bill failed to get a single vote in a House subcommittee.
Legislators tend to be very pro-law enforcement.
Justin Owen heads the conservative-leaning Beacon Center of Tennessee, which had joined with the ACLU in pushing for the policing for profit reforms.
Unfortunately, lawmakers felt that it wasn't a pervasive problem, that the Department of Safety can only show that 67 people got their property back that was wrongfully taken. Therefore, it wasn't a huge problem.
What do we do with an elderly lady who cashes out her $28,000 bank account, gets stopped, her money is seized, and she has to spend $14,000 on attorneys to get her life savings back?
And law enforcement was back in force on another day for a bill that would have required them to pay the attorney's fees for anyone who hires a lawyer and gets a judge to order that their property should be returned.
And it may be a problem that does not exist today that we're attempting to correct.
Nashville Police Chief Steve Anderson argued that the revelations have already led to reforms that have changed the way those more controversial agencies operate. Still, police argued that legislation could also hurt cops.
So you can't have it both ways. They're either abusing the process and they're going to get dinged for it, or they're not.
We're not asking the taxpayers of this state to pay for our drug interdiction efforts.
In the end, all reformers could get this year is legislation that requires the state to track such seizures and report back on how much is taken and how much is eventually returned.
We hope to build upon this. We're not going away. We'll continue to work with groups like the ACLU to press for protections for Tennesseans when their rights have been violated.
Now, the good news, Justin Owen said, is that one piece of legislation that's made it through will give the public information about the scope of the problem, which may come in handy if the issue comes up again, potentially as early as next year.
All right. Thanks, Phil.